Right, so we are. You got your earpiece in them?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's down to volume coming out of the thing. Volume's not coming out of your earpiece, I think.
Is the volume coming out of the earpiece as well?
No, no. I think it's coming out the computer.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to do the connecty thing?
Sorry, Chris is going to change it.
Cool.
Can you?
Yeah, she would.
Is the music around there?
What music we want? What we do parties?
Stimulates, yeah.
Any flex really? Flex 2's always nice.
Flex 2.
Flex 2's
Let's do that now.
the original and best of the Pilates tunes.
Okay, Flex 2. Select there.
We're starting, so I'm going to
Started just under 6 minutes.
Smashing.
perfect.
Oh, we're live streaming. We are live streaming. It's a thing.
Let's see. Well,
Yes.
Oh,
We've got it there in the house.
hey Mom! Happy days. Welcome if you're joining us at home. Welcome on into Pilates.
Rosie got a headphone. It's a thing that sounds like coming out there. It's just weird.
Oh.
Right, should we about to go into your headset?
Din 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 din. Exciting times.
Nice afros, nice afros.
Thanks. I'm feeling a bit like, this morning. It has to be said. Chia pudding, man, is not a good pre-yoga snack. It's.
I mainly been eating Easter eggs, mate.
You've been what?
Mainly eating Easter eggs.
Ah,
It's still a lot in your ear, is it?
it's still not me, you know.
Yeah, can you pop it back into the case now? Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Thanks.
Hello, hello. Testing, testing.
Testing, testing. No.
No. Oh, connected.
Yeah.
I've had that. Oh, disconnected. Pairing.
That should work.
Dun 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 dun. Ah, what are you doing for Lottie's birthday? The computer tells me it's Lot's birthday tomorrow.
I'm just looking at ideas. Something more reverberates a bit.
Yes.
Watching Chris trying to use the pair on the computer screens is very amusing.
Oh, what is it? What, trying to touch screen a non-touch screen computer?
Yeah. Is that not work now?
I've got some funky flashing going on in my earpiece. Little disco accessory here.
Silent
Woo woo.
Well, currently we've got Yvette in the room.
Awesome. Number one fan.
1-1, yeah. But she's got a mic turned off anyway, so you might not be able to hear it because of that reason. And then, bit of housekeeping. Yesterday, I'm not sure the door shut properly when you left.
Okay.
Just
Eight.
make sure it magnetised the shut.
Right, yeah.
Luke was saying that somebody's been trying to break in round the back. So
Shit.
maybe just to
Eek.
keep it on lockdown.
Definitely. Oops. How do they break? Oh, connected. Oh, I've got, there we go. Huzzah. Okay. Right, okay. Okay, cool. So I've got 43 minutes. Cool. Right. So I've lost track. Right, earpiece is coming out. Alright, welcome everyone. If you're joining us at home, you're all super welcome on into Pilates this morning. So, you don't really need anything except your mat. That's about it really. Pilates, if you haven't done before, is lots of focus on abdominals as well as glutes and upper body. So we're really thinking about developing healthy spinal posture, healthy spinal alignment, so strengthening those muscles that help support that. So just take it at your own pace, enjoy. The idea with Pilates is it's really sneakily difficult is what we're aiming for. So we're slow, squeezy movements, moving with control, and I'll give you lots of different options. So do feel free to take those different options. Don't feel like you have to push. So this is all about just working at your level, finding your flow. And we've just got 10 seconds to get started. So if you want to come on down, find your way into a supine bound angle. Thinking about bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall out wide, the shoulders relax. And that's us getting started there. You're all super welcome on into Pilates. So we're here in supine bound angle, soles of the feet together, knees falling out wide. Back of the neck long, shoulders down the back. You're very welcome to stay here if that feels comfortable. Of course, if that doesn't feel comfortable, don't feel like you have to stay here. You can take your feet out wide and the knees knock in, or extend the legs out on the mat. So any variations at all that work for you. We're just aiming to find somewhere where you can just start to settle down the breath and slow down the mind. Deep, full inhales. And exhales. So just letting the back of the neck extend, the shoulders release down the back, the eyes and the jaw close. The deep, full breaths in. And so deep breaths into the lower belly, into the back body. So the jaw and the eyes and the face soften. And just taking a few moments just to chill out, find the breath. Bring yourself into your practice. Do remember, just work at your own level, your own pace. I will give you those different options. Feel free to take them, and feel free to take rest and modify as well as you need. When you're ready, we're just going to take 3 more deep breaths in and out here. So deep, full breaths into the lower belly, into the back body. And exhaling away. 2. Deep inhale. Exhale. 1 more with full breath in. And from there, giving yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. Just saying hello to the lumbar spine, just feeling that little stretch in the lower back, opening out through the hips. And grounding down with the feet. Knees are in the air, back of the neck long. So starting to find a really strong squeeze in of the tummy muscles. So a little light engagement through the core. Somewhere you can still breathe, somewhere you can just hold through class. So a little tuck up of the pelvic floor as well, if that feels okay for you. So just finding somewhere that feels comfortable. From there, grounding down, big toe, little toe heel. Squeeze the glutes and start to roll up, vertebra by vertebra. Chest comes towards the chin. And then we're rolling down again as slowly and with as much control as we can. So inhale to ripple up, really, really, really slow, controlled, squeezy movements. And very slow, lowers down. So with peeling up vertebra by vertebra, we're lowering down vertebra by vertebra. So here in our dynamic bridge, we're starting to warm up the spine, starting to feel into all of that control you have over the position of the pelvis, all of that control you have over the position of the spine. So really feeling into how slow, how controlled you can be here, finding that full articulation right from the tailbone all the way to the tip of the neck. We're keeping knees, ankle and hips in alignment as well, that little squeeze, that tension through the inner thighs, finding that strength through the legs. Rolling up and down. So we're starting to find a bit of space in the front side of the body as well. Taking one more roll up, squeezing at the top and slowly rolling down. Awesome, well done. Alright, little squeezing of the abs here. And then we're going to start off with the knees over the hips, the shins parallel to the mat. Alright, just before we get started, make sure if you put your hands underneath your back, what you shouldn't feel is that there's a big arch underneath the back. You want to squeeze the abs in and make sure that lower back is pressing towards the floor. If you need to reset, just hug the knees in. And if you find the lower back starts to arch, take a little rest, hug the knees in and reset. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a slow double leg lower. So really slowly going to tap both toes down and then draw both knees back up. So here the idea is it's really slow. So it's quite a simple movement and you're going to make it as slow and controlled as you can. So maybe slowly lowering for a count of 2 or 3 and lifting for a count of 2 or 3. Lower back is on the floor, trying not to wiggle from side to side with the hips. So making sure you've got that really slow control up and down. If it feels easy, you just make it even slower. So really slow, really strong squeeze to lift. If it's too much, you can tap one toe down, tap the other toe down, or you can also just plant both feet down and just work 3 on one leg with one foot grounded and then 3 on the other. So you've got options, do feel free to take them. You can take double leg lower, a single leg lower, or these little supported single legs. We're thinking about keeping the core engaged. Remember to breathe. Really feel that strong squeeze of the abdominals. Try to keep the lower back, the upper body relaxed, the lower body strong. So we're getting into these lower abdominals. These are really important stabilizer muscles for the lumbar spine. Working here for 5, slow lowers, and lifts 4. So really slow it down if you can. Feel that squeeze of the abs lift 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And from there, we're going to plant the feet down on the floor. So we're going to take the fingertips to the temples, elbows out wide, engaging the core. We're going to take chin to chest, squeeze the abs, little crunch, and lowering back down. So chin to chest to squeeze, crunch, and back down. Remember here, we want to take chin to chest first, and then it's the contraction of the abdominals that's lifting and lowering the shoulders. So that movement of the rib cage towards the hips, the feet are staying grounded. So option to stay there. If that's too much, you can take it down by just bringing the hands to the thighs. We're going to take chin to chest, little squeeze, little roll up and roll down. If you find it's too much for the neck, you can take it into little pelvic rolls, just lifting up the knees towards the chest and little squeezy lifts. So that's an option if you have any issues with your neck. Or if you want to make it harder, we're going to take chin to chest, elbows wide, we're going to lift, we're then going to reach forward. So we're holding the top of that motion for a little longer, that's the hardest bit of motion, and then fingertips come back to elbows, and we're slowly lowering down. So chin to chest, squeezing to lift, we're taking a forward reach, maintaining stability in the rest of the body, and then we're turning back through centre. Option to stay there. If you want to take it further again, you can take chin to chest, squeeze to lift, reach forward with the hands, shoulders are relaxed. From there we're going to crunch, 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 a little triple pulse, using the abdominals to find that pulse. So you should feel like it's a contraction of the abdominals that controls that lift. The contraction of the abdominals stabilizes as you reach forward with the arms, and then you're taking these crunchy, squeezy movements. So loads of options here. Loads of levels. Remember, you're welcome to switch around between levels. Keep that level where you can find control, stability, and make sure you're still breathing as well. So the breath is really important. When you hold your breath, that's when maybe you need to just take a little moment to reset, to come back down. We're focusing on chin to chest first and head last thing to come down because we want to protect the neck. Make sure that it's the abdominals powering this movement rather than the neck. Getting deep into the low abs here. Perfect. So really slow and controlled. Working here for 5. So squeezy lift. And lower. So this first little section of class is all about getting into these lower abs. 3. Well done. 2. And 1. Release. Well done. Hug the knees in. Little squeeze, little rock and roll. And then the knees are going to float out over the hips there. The lower back is on the floor. The shoulders are relaxed. From there, we're going to take the elbows wide and we're essentially going to combine the last 2 movements. So lower back stays on the floor. We're going to take chin to chest squeeze and we're going to reach forwards and then fingertips back to genitals, slow lower down. So it's a little curl. If it's too much, remember you can just take a little curl up with the chest. If you can, we're reaching forwards with the hands, adding a little more time into that top bit of the movement, which is where the body's working at the greatest intensity. If you want to, we can add in a little triple pulse as before. If we want to, we could add a double leg lower. So chin to chest squeezy lift, little triple pulse. And then we're lowering head and toes away from each other at the same time. Really have to work the abs hard. And then returning back up, crunching. So we're taking a little C crunch, optional pulse. And lower. So working level, just recapping that. You can just have legs in the air and just take a little half crunch and curl. Option 1. You can take a little crunch, curl, reach forwards, hold, and return. You can take a little crunch up, little triple pulse, and return. Or you could add in that little C crunch, so chin to chest lift, triple pulse, and then legs and head move away from each other at the same time. And then we're returning to that starting position, squeeze into lift, little triple pulse, and then head and toes return to the floor, really strong for the abdominals. So keep that focus on control, on power through the abdominals. Keep that breath flowing steady. Remember to protect the neck. Getting right on into the lower abdominals in this first little section. Chin to chest, we're warming up the body. Awesome stuff. Fantastic. So we're going to work here for another 5. So we've got just a few more lower abs exercises after this. 4. Well done. 3. Squeezy, crunchy movements. 2. And 1. Well done. Or give those legs a little shake out from side to side. Really strong work for the abs there. Lower back. Just releasing through the hips. From that, lower back is on the floor. Legs in the air, soft bend through the knees. And from there, we're going to take the fingertips to the temples. We're going to take a little twisting variation now. We're going to inhale and exhale, squeeze, lift, and then we're going to reach to the left, strong through the abs, return through center, and reach the right, squeeze. So we're keeping the chin to chest, the shoulders off the mat, squeezing to lift, and cross, returning through center, chin to chest, squeeze to lift and cross. If that's too much, you can plant the feet down, and we're working with the feet grounded, just hands to temple, similar movement, chin to chest, squeeze, reaching from one side to the other. If that's too much for the neck, you can take a dynamic twist, squeezing in the core, rolling the knees from one side to the other, keeping the head grounded. So that's your neck-free option. You can plant both feet, chin to chest, reach from one side to the other, squeezing the core, working more into the obliques here, or if you're feeling it, legs can be straight or with a slight bend in the knees, and we are working with those slightly extended legs, which increases that lever length work a little bit harder. So thinking about squeezing into lift Little reach, you're getting into the side body. Perfect. Deep breaths in. Squeeze and back again. We've got just one more lower abdominal exercise after this. Squeeze. Hopefully starting to feel a little bit of heat there, a little bit of a burn. Remember, inhale as you come through centre and exhale on the hardest bit of the work. Thinking about the lower abs staying switched on. Squeezy controlled movements. Well done, working here for 5. Squeeze to lift and cross. 4. Squeeze to cross. 3. Squeezy movements. 2. 1 more. And release. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch, a little wiggle. And from there, the lower back is going to stay on the floor. The knees are going to float out over the hips. The core is engaged. And we are in the starting position of our Rise 100. So we've got option to stay there. We can extend the arms and we're going to beat the arms. That's option 1. Option 2, we're going to take chin to chest, squeeze the core. We're going to beat the arms. We're using the abdominals to lift the shoulders off the mat. Option 3, the legs are fully extended. So any 3 of those options, squeezing in the core, keeping those abs really squeezed in tight, and we're going to beat the arms. So remember, if you need to drop the shoulders down, feel free. You want to keep that lower back pressing to the floor. You want to keep the tummy engaged. You want to feel like the shoulders are actively moving down the back. Working here for another 10. Deep breaths in. And out. 9. So if the lower back starts to arch, that's when you bend your knees in. 8. Really strong, really controlled. Squeezy movement. 7. Alright, we got there. 6. 5. Almost there. Deep breaths in and out. Shoulders down the back. 4. Keep breathing. 3. Squeezy. 2. And 1. Well done. Nice job. Give yourself a little squeeze. And from there, extend that along with the left leg. Hug the right knee in and we'll just take a single leg spinal twist. So we're taking the left hand to the right knee and extending the right hand away from us. So just finding a lovely little twist through the spine, letting that right knee and right hand stretch out away from each other, the shoulders relax. Deep breaths in. And 1 more inhale. And exhale, returning through center. Right leg extends, hugging in with the left knee, inhale. And exhale, taking that little twist on the other side. So letting the left hand extend, the left knee extend. Just neutralizing through the spine, finding a little bit of space in the outside of the left leg. Deep breaths in. And out, letting that left shoulder release and relax for 3, 2, and 1. Come through center. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And from there, rock up and over. And we are finding our way to our little plank section. So finding our way into a table pose to start off with. So the hands are underneath the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips. So spreading the fingers out wide, grounding down into the fingertips. So make sure you're gripping the mat with the fingertips. You're pressing into the second knuckle. So pressing down here, really press the hands hard into the mat so you feel that full energy and activation of the muscles of the upper back. Engaging the core to support that long spine. Tucking the toes, and you are in a plank position. Hands underneath the shoulders, squeezing in the core. Squeeze the glutes, find the activity there. Holding that plank for 3, 2, and 1. From there, we're going to drive knee into nose, squeezing the core, focusing on stability. So that's option 1. Option 2, we're going to take a little bolt exercise. We're going to send the hips back towards the heels. The knees hover just an inch or so off the mat. We then glide forwards and take that knee drive. So a little panther hover. So it's like a little backwards moving squat motion. Really firing up the quads. Keeping the core really tight. Keeping the hands pressing really hard into the mat. Make sure those shoulder blades don't start to droop apart. As you drive knee into the chest, you're really focusing on power. So you can always come down to the knees and just take a knee to nose drive from kneeling if you find either of those 2 options gets too much. So you can just take a normal knee drive, a kneeling knee drive, or if you can, have a play with this little panther movement at the back and driving knee to nose. Strong through the abdominals, Really feeling that power as you drive in. Try not to rush it, remember keeping it slow and controlled. Nice work. Working here for 5. Really strong, powerful movements. Thinking about those abs staying switched on. 4. Really pressing hard with hands into mat. 3. 2. And 1. Release the knees down to the mat. From there, inhale the right hand up to the sky, lifting up. Inhale. Exhale your right shoulder down onto the mat. Let the left hand walk out in front of you. So just stretching out long, deep breaths in and out. For 3, deep full inhales and exhales. 2. 1 more inhale. Exhale. From there, right hand plants, left hand lifts. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, the left shoulder comes down onto the mat, the left ear comes down into the mat. Right hand walks out in front of you, stretching out deep, full breaths in. And so releasing through that left shoulder, through the spine for 3. Inhale. Exhaling, so just taking some deep breaths into the shoulders, just finding some space there. Maybe a little stretch down the right underarm. 2. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Find your way back up to a table pose. So strong through the core, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. From there, we're moving into a rainbow, so we're getting into the glutes here. So from a table pose, the left foot is going to extend to the left side of your mat. You're going to squeeze the glutes and let the foot move over to the right. So we're keeping the core engaged. Really focus on pressing hard with the hands into the mat. And it's not so much the toes that are moving, but the squeeze of the glutes that's powering that movement through the leg. Pointing or flexing the toes to activate the whole of that left leg. Keeping the core tight, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. So we're working here, thinking about that squeeze, thinking about that power. Make sure that you keep pressing the hands hard into the mat, keeping the core tight. Perfect. Working here for 5, really slow and control. Squeezing to lift and lower. Doesn't have to be a big movement, just focus on that slow, powerful squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Returning to table pose. Reset here. Think about those fingers spreading wide. The core is engaged. Right side. So right foot comes from right side of the mat, squeezing to lift up and over. Keeping the core really engaged. Focusing on power. So you're thinking about that really, really, really squeezy movement. Remember, it's the glutes that are activating here. So the toes point and that activates the whole muscle of the leg. But you're focusing on maintaining that really, really, really powerful, active right glute. You're pressing really hard with the hands into the mat and keeping the core really tight to control through that movement. Deep breaths in and out, so full body. We're going to come to a little standing sequence after 1 more plank-based exercise. And that is going to, again, really let us fire up the glutes, such an important muscle to strengthen for lumbar spine health. Working here for 3. Strong core, powerful hands into mat. 2. And 1, release. From there, I'm just going to come down to a quick little sphinx. So a quick little back bend here. Elbows under the shoulders, just give the hips a little shimmy. Shoulders down the back, deep inhale. Exhale, so letting the chest reach forwards, the shoulders reach back. Deep, full breath in. And so letting the lumbar spine release. Taking 1 more deep breath in. And from there, plant the hands under the shoulders, press up and finding your way to a plank position. So from here, we are going to take either a rolling side plank, so we're rolling onto the side of the feet, pressing the hands up high, and slowly returning through center. So squeeze into lift and lower. If that's too much, you can come to table pose, and you can roll onto one side, find this beautiful sense of chest opening, and then we're using the core to really slowly return through center, rolling and stretching open on the other side. If you're feeling fiery today, we're going to take it into a T-press. So we're going to move the body weight forwards, elbows into the rib cage, little press up, strong through the core. We're going to power up and we're going to rotate at the top of that press up. Slowly returning through center, a little bend of the elbows, strong core, press and rotate. So you've got the option to just take a rotating side plank, really strong press up of the side body, opening out through the chest, running that lovely mobility through the chest. You can take the kneeling version, or if you want to, throwing that little press up. Remember, you're always welcome to switch around between levels in Pilates. Don't feel like you have to always stick with one. You want to focus on that control, on finding a variation which works for you through each rep. Working here for another 3, so strong and controlled. 2 and 1. Find your way back to a plank. From there, we're going to walk the feet towards the hands, keeping the legs as straight as long as you can, finding your way into a floppy forward fold. Hips are high, head and shoulders relax, feeling the whole spine extend. Taking one hand in one elbow, one in the other. Inhaling. Exhale. So letting the whole of the back body release and drape down, the shoulders relax. Full deep breaths in. And out for 3. Inhale. Exhale 2. One more deep breath in. And from there, release the hands. Engage the core, rolling on up. Vertebra by vertebra. Finding your way up to standing. Alright, we've got our fiery little standing sequence here. So starting in with the right foot, the centre of the mat. We're going to take a little skater squat. So it's a bit like you're about to step back into a lunge. So we're just taking a right knee bend and the left foot is going to come back and then we're going to lift. So engaging the core, we're moving the body weight backwards, little bend of that right knee and lifting up. If that's too much, you can just step back to a lunge and forwards again. So that's an option. If you can, we're going to add on a little leg lift. So grounding down, big toe, little toe heel. We're going to take a little skater squat. So we're moving backwards. It's a single leg backwards moving squat. We then lift up at the top. We engage the core, point the left toes, and think ballet style here. We're going to squeeze the glutes. Little triple pulse there, really powerful, active into that left glute. And then we're going to work into that squat, trying to keep that knee stable. And then we're going to come up, squeeze the glutes, power, lengthen through that back leg. So skater squat, slow sink down. Make sure that knee is stable into that squeezy glute lift. Remember, you have the option to step back to a lunge, and you can either just stay with that lunge or you can again add on that little glute pulse, your choice. So here we're working on balance, working on strengthening that standing leg, strengthening the glutes, strong through the core, keeping that chest upright. Nice work. Working here for 5. So a little lower, so working on balance as well, a really important skill to develop for all of our activities in life. Keep that core engaged, shoulders back. 3, we're finding posture at the top as well. Oh, that right leg's starting to burn. 2. One more, little bend, and lift. Oh, right, little triple pulse. All right, swap it over. So give that right leg a shake. The left foot's going to come into the centre of the mat. Hands out in front of you. Stay skater squat. So that left knee is over left ankle, the right foot's moving back, and then we're lifting up. So a little backwards moving single leg squat and lift. Remember, you can take a lunge instead. So left knee over left ankle. We're just stepping back with the right foot and stepping forwards. Remember, you can stay with those 2, or we can add on a little triple pulse. So coming in from skater squat, keep the core tight, really lift the chest at the top there, power it into that left glute, right glute, point the toes, and then we're coming down, and then powering up, left knee over left ankle, pointing the toes. Option to, of course, make that a combo with a lunge instead, so right toes pressing back, and little squeezy glute lifts. So entirely up to you. Keep working at your level. Remember, as always, you can switch around between levels. You want to make sure that when you move into the skater squat, that knee isn't tracking too far beyond the ankle. You're keeping the chest upright and you're finding the sense of the body weight moving backwards. Remember to breathe. It is quite a challenging little combo. Working here for 5. Really squeeze those glutes. Strong through the abs. 4, slow, lower. Powerful lift. 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a little shake out, little wiggle out. And from there, if you'll turn into the center of the mat, just finding a point where you can still see me. Our next exercise is another powerful one for glutes and balance. So bringing, let's say your right foot into the center of the mat, engaging the core, shoulders down the back. From there, the left foot is going to spin around and we're going to come into what we call a curtsy lunge. So the left foot is coming down, the right knee is bending slightly. You should feel a nice stretch down the outside of the right leg. From there, you're going to engage the core, lift back to center. So it's sweeping the left foot around, feeling that bend in the right leg, and coming back up. So option 1 is you're just staying there, a little side movement, and then really squeeze the glutes to return through center. Option 2, we're going to come round. We're going to find that standing position, and then we're going to take 3 side leg pulses. So we're working to the outer glute here, the glute med. So a little bend, and return through center. Focus on the core, find that posture, and then we are finding that little triple pulse. So you come to the top of your range of motion, little triple pulse. If you're feeling strong today, maybe coming from that curtsy lunge all the way straight into that triple pulse. So we're working on maintaining balance there. So when you come up, make sure the core is engaged, the shoulders are down. Engaging muscles, that standing leg when you take the rear outside raise. So you want to find that control. So feel like the quad is engaging, almost like you're lifting the kneecap up. The core is engaged. Remember, you can stop halfway, so you've got that little sideways movement, return through center, and you can either then go on to that lateral lift, or you can miss it out. So I know for sure my side right glute is absolutely on fire now. We'll take it on the other side very soon. Working here another 3. So a little bend, power up strong through the core, 2, and 1. Oh my. All right, let's take that on the other side. So the left foot is in the center of the mat. Engaging the core, shoulders back. Let's just take a moment to reset. And then we're moving the right foot around. Left knee is bending. Left glute is going to fire up to bring us back through center. So sweeping that right foot around, finding that little bend, and then squeezing to return through center. Remember, you might just be staying there. You might be coming through center, stopping halfway, and then we're taking that lateral leg lift, and then returning back to that little curtsy squat. Really squeeze to come through center. Make sure you've got that alignment, and then come to the top of range of motion and tilt. Try not to lean sideways, but keep the body lifted. Doesn't matter about how far you lift your leg, you want to find that engagement. Option to stay there, option to take it all the way around, or squeeze the top, little pulse, 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 and sweeping around, lifting up, engaging the core, pulse, 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 sweeping around, engaging that glute, shoulders back, pulse, 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 sweeping around, engaging the core, squeezing that glute, find that alignment at the top, pulse, pulse, pulse. All right, just a few more, we can do this. Remember, you can switch around between levels. Remember to keep breathing. Another 3. Well done. 2. You're going to take some lovely stretching after this. And 1. Ooh, crikey. All right, from there, we're rolling down. So find your way back to a table pose. And we'll take a little pigeon pose there. So left knee behind left wrist. Looking over your right shoulder, make sure the right knee, ankle, hip are in alignment. Stretching out and finding that lovely stretch down through the back of the left leg. So work the glutes and the hips really hard, just thinking about the weight being even here, stretching out, inhaling and exhaling. Well done. For 3, stretching out, finding that lovely length through the outside of that left leg. 2 and 1. Come back to plank or table, and then taking that on the other side. So right knee behind right wrist, left knee, ankle, hips slide out behind you. We're thinking about finding length and then stretching forward. So we're finding space right down the outside of the right leg. Inhaling and exhaling. Well done. So deep breaths in and out. Just finding that little bit of space for 3. So releasing right down through the outside of that right leg. 2. Deep breaths in and out. And 1. From there, we're going to step back to a plank. Hands underneath the shoulders. And we've just got one more little plank exercise. So pressing hard with the hands into the mat. We're going to lift the left up, externally rotate the left knee sweeps around to left elbow, external rotation through right knee sweeps around. So just a little external rotation and tap, little Spider-Man leg. If you prefer, you can work the same movement from the knees. We're just aiming to find a little bit of a mobilization exercise through the hips, as well as strengthen the abdominals and the obliques. If it gets too much, remember you can just hold a plank or a table. Press really hard with hands into mat. 5. Strong through the core, through the shoulders. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release there, hips to heels. Take a little child's pose, chin to chest, stretching out through the whole back of the body, from tailbone all the way to the tip of the neck. Deep breath in. And from there, rolling on up. And swing both legs out in front of you. So we're going to take a double leg forward fold. So soft bend through the knees, inhale, lifting up, angling the body forward, shimmying the hips out behind you. We're aiming to find a lovely stretch down through the back of the hammies and through the lumbar spine. If, like me, you're feeling pretty tight, you might want to just take quite a deep bend in the knees and just let yourself sink in. If you're feeling super limber this morning, you could comfortably reach forwards or straighten the legs, but do just work in to whatever works for you. We're thinking about finding the sit bones. We're thinking about finding that length through the back body, hinging at the hips. So almost imagine you're folding in half from the lower back, from the hips. Inhaling. Exhaling. So lovely stretch into the back body for 3. Inhaling. Exhaling. Maybe letting the head relax if that feels comfortable. 2. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Roll on up there. Find the sit bones. So we're finding a way into a teaser pose, strong through the core. You can have the hands behind you. You could have them behind the backs of the legs. So behind you, behind the backs of the legs. You can have them in front of you. If you're feeling strong, lift them to the sky. If you're feeling it, extend the legs. And we're just going to take a static hold there. Really strong, really controlled. 5. Deep breaths in and out. Really lift up through the chest. 4. Well done. 3. Power, power, power. 2. And 1. Plant the feet. Roll all the way down to lie your back. So just having a little bit of a shimmy down here. And we're going to take just a final few little exercises here. So starting off, the left ankle comes to the right knee. And we are going to take a quick little figure 4 stretch. So take the hands through to the back of the right knee and give yourself a little stretch. So you should be feeling like a big old stretch right down through the back of this left glute, down the back of the leg. So it's slightly different from when we take it prone. We can get a bit more into the glute, so it's quite nice to take 2 together. You can really feel into those different muscles. Working here, full breaths in and out for 3, 2, and 1. From there, we're going to let the left knee continue over so it's on top of the right knee. That already might feel like enough for you. If you can take your right hand to the left knee there, and to the left ankle, and the left hand over to the right ankle, so you should feel like you've got hands are on the same side but on opposite ankles, and then if it's comfortable, you might draw the knees in and gently draw the feet apart, and you should feel quite an intense stretch down the back of that left leg. So we're just aiming to unravel after all of that hard glute work. Working here for 3, 2, 1, and release. So taking that on the other side, right ankle onto left knee, take a quick figure of 4 stretch, and then we're going to take that into a supine happy cow stretch. So hugging that left knee in towards you now, finding that big old stretch right down the back of the right leg. Inhale. And exhale. So shoulders are relaxing. Thinking about finding that lovely space in the back of the right leg. Full breaths in. And really deep, steady inhales. And exhales. For 3. So full breaths in. And out. 2. 1 more, inhale. And exhale, letting the right knee move on top of the left. Option to stay there. Option to take the hands to opposite feet. So taking the left hand to the right hand to the left. Stretching into the back of that right leg. Deep, full breaths in. And out, finding that lovely spacious stretch. Relaxing the shoulders. And breathe. Inhale. Exhaling there, well done for 3. So just thinking about gently pulling those feet apart just as much as feels comfortability. 1 more, inhale. And exhale, releasing there. Alright, so left ankle to right knee again. And this time we're going to take it into a little bridge press. So nice way to open the hips and strengthen the glutes. So we're going to power the hips up high, squeeze the glutes to lift, and engage the core, roll down vertebra by vertebra. So pressing up, keeping knee, ankle, hips stable, and slowly lowering. Option, plant both feet down, and we're just taking a normal bridge press and a slow lower. So if your glutes are all done, feel free to take it there. If you're with me, we're taking that nice pigeon bridge press, we're pressing up chest to chin, rolling down with control, but opening out through the hips as well. Working here for 3, so powerful lift and squeeze up, slow roll down, 2, really lift, 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 and 1, swapping over, left foot down, right ankle comes on, and once again we're powerful lift, 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 knee, ankle, hip in alignment, engage to lower. So try and keep that control on the way up, really squeezing the glutes, really slow lower. Working here for 5, squeezy lift, and slow lower 4, well done, really powerful lift up 3, 2, and 1, release. Take the hands to the knees, draw some circles with the knees. We've got 1 more little abs exercise and we are done. So just taking some little mobilizing circles in and out with the knees. And then when you're done, we're going to take the left foot over right, similar to that supine happy cow, either staying there or if it's available to you, you could also tuck the left toes down behind the right. Lifting the legs up, squeeze the core, reset the lower back on the floor, and from there we can take little toe taps. So it might be that you're staying there. If you can, we're going to take fingertips to temples, elbows wide, chin to chest. We're going to take a little crunch of forehead to knees, and slowly lowering away. So thinking about squeezing to lift, and lower. Option to take the left hand under right, taking eagle arms, so wrapping left arm under right if that's available to you. And we're working eagle arms and legs, in which case we're getting this lovely stretch out through the upper back as well. Squeezy movements, chin to chest, working here 5, powerful movement. Slow lowers and lifts, 4, really strong, really controlled, keeping that core tight, make sure lower back's on the floor, 2, 1, and unravel. Right foot over left, right arm under left. So option to continue with those little eagle crunches if you took those on the other side. Chin to chest, working with the hands. Or as before, if you want to work without the hands, chin to chest, forehead to knees, and away, little crunch, feel free. You can also just lose the upper body and just work the legs. So whichever variation you took last time, if you've got arms, this time it's right arm under left. We're keeping the chin to chest, so we're squeezing. As all those crunches at the beginning of the class, this is a movement that comes from the contraction of the abdominals, the rib cage moving towards the top of the hips. Working here for 5, squeezing movements, 4, well done, 3, 2, And one, release. Awesome job. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch, and then take a happy baby. Peace sign fingers around the big toes, knees in towards the armpits. Press the lower back down towards the floor. Lovely little stretch through the hips, letting the blood flow back to the heart. Of course, if that's not available to you, you can also just take the hands underneath the knees and take that same stretch to the hips. So work at whatever variation works for you. It can be quite nice to extend out with one leg and let the other leg fall in. And just take that little stretch through the back of the legs and the hips. Inhale. And exhaling for 5. Full breaths in. And out 4. Well done. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. From there, extend the legs out, extend the arms out. Take a lovely full body yawn. Give yourself a little shimmy out. Take a lovely big deep inhale. And exhale, release. One more time. Lovely big stretch and wiggle deep inhale. And exhale, release. Hug the knees in there. And rock up or roll up. Find your way up to seated. All right. Just get a final few little stretches here. So thinking about pressing interlocking the hands, and we're going to turn the palms up, stretch up to the sky, shoulders down the back. Inhale. Exhale. So it's feeling that stretch right down the back body. Deep breath in. And from there, we're going to interlock the hands behind us, press the chest forward, draw the shoulders actively down. So you should be feeling a lovely stretch down the front side of the chest. Deep breath in. And taking those interlocked hands over to the left hip. Inhale, lift, and exhale, just drop the left ear down to that left shoulder. So we're aiming to find a stretch right down through the back of the right neck, through the right shoulder. Really lovely one, this, if you work at a desk. 3, 2, 1, come through center, reset, and take those interlocked hands over to the right hip. Drop the right ear down and feel that beautiful stretch down the left side of the shoulder of the neck for 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Unravel there, give yourself a little shimmy, have a little shake hand. And when you're ready, inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands back to heart. And have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you all so much for joining. Hopefully see you soon. Namaste. Thank you and well done. Awesome job.